2018 Jaguar X review. The good points of Jaguar X: entertaining drive, sharp looks, diesel efficiency, well equipped. The bad points of Jaguar X: lacks practicality, interior quality, reliability questions, no more access. One of the extremely hotly contested areas is the executive saloon sector, but till the Jaguar X found its way to 2015, the British manufacturer have been rather without this arena. Its previous stab, the Jaguar X-Type, had lacked the provenance usually for this brand and was styled way too traditionally, failing to attract younger buyers in sufficient numbers. Those aren't accusations which might be leveled in the Slinky X. It's a primary rival to your Audi A4 saloon, BMW 3 Series saloon and Mercedes-Benz C-Class saloon, along with more left-field choices including the Infiniti Q50 and Lexus IS. Aluminium construction boosts efficiency. Helping decrease the X's heft is its aluminium-intensive construction, and lighter weight means greater efficiency, particularly joined with Jaguar's efficient class of 2.0-litre, 4-cylinder ingenium petrol and diesel engines. New Jaguar X cars on the market. Watch, need something bigger? Take a look at our Jaguar Xf review. Opt for that entry-level diesel that has a manual gearbox, and Jaguar cites the state claim of 58.9 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of just 126 grams/km. Of course, Jaguar's ethos has historically centered around performance, and, until spring 2018, sight hadn't been lost with this. The X's lineup was crowned by the 380 horsepower 3.0-litre supercharged V6 petrol engine, mighty enough to propel this compact four-door from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5 seconds flat. However, because of tightening emissions regulations, and much more specifically the change to WLTP figures, Jaguar dropped the XS in spring 2018, indirectly replacing it using the 30 tons. Producing a chunky 300 horsepower and 400 Newton-meters of torque, it's best for 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds, but a few would agree it's a worthy replacement for that excellent V6. Driver-sating appeal. The inherent lightness also pays dividends regarding the X's agility, put together with rear-wheel drive handling. All-wheel drive is additionally available on selected models. The Jaguar is one of the very entertaining saloons you can get, yet still it rides comfortably. There are many electronic systems to help you the driver, including Jaguar's drive control, also seen about the larger XF and XJ saloons, which enable the motorist to select different handling characteristics like comfort and sport. You will also get an all-surface progress control, ASPC, system that maximizes traction regardless of what the conditions, including handling snow or ice. Modern interior with relevant tech, but quality is questionable. Forget notions of your plank of highly polished brown wood dominating the dashboard. The X's cabin is a lot more contemporary than that. In fact, it's borderline minimalist, but also in a way that causes it to become look ordinary. There's leather, slivers of veneered timber if you need it, and contemporary Jaguar switchgear. However, some of the plastics feel too low rent to become convincing inside the company the X keeps. Some highlights are available, though. The multimedia systems certainly are a leap in advance of Jaguar's previous efforts, particularly the larger screened, 10-inch, in-control Touch Pro package, while its safety credentials are reinforced with the autonomous low-speed braking mechanism and a pop-up bonnet for improved pedestrian protection. Decent standard kit levels. Even within the base A-spec model, the X can boast numerous standard equipment, including sat-nav, cruise control, 17-inch alloy wheels, DAB radio, Wi-Fi hotspot along with an 10-inch in-control Touch Pro media system. Even bumping up one level for the X Prestige model bags you full-grained leather seats, heated front seats and ambient lighting. Latest deals from Buick are Jaguar X Diesel Saloon 2.0D, 24. £26,792. or £392 every month. Jaguar XE Saloon 3.0 V6 Supercharger, £29,842, or £394 a month. See all deals on Jaguar XE. Representative example, representative APR of 7.9% borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP type finance. The total amount payable will be £250 monthly, using a total cost of credit of £1,483 and also a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Bouire Car Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London, WC1E7DP, GB 09151058, is really a credit broker regulated by FCA, FRN 667368. The verdict. The XE is often a great addition to your ranks with the medium-sized executive saloons. It looks good, boasts an effective range of engines, and cramped rear seat aside, features a nicely set up interior. It's not perfect, though. The interior quality isn't near the top in the class, and lags badly behind the head of their pack Audi A4, while there are a few serious question marks being raised regarding the car's reliability. But a high-level keen driver, and also stand out from the group, there is lots to recommend the Jaguar XE, although, admittedly less so now the range-topping V6 model has become dropped. Jaguar XE review. Efficient 4-cylinder petrols and diesels. More powerful twin-turbo diesel available. Best for performance is 30 tons petrol. Performance is still on the heart from the way the Jaguar XE drives. However, its lighter-weight aluminum construction and relatively compact engines enable sufficiency to prevail, in some recoverable format, a minimum of. Popular suite of diesels. 3 diesels are offered inside XE, all based about the same 4-cylinder turbocharged unit but tweaked many different power outputs. Most efficient may be the 2.0-litre 163 horsepower rear-wheel drive version, producing 380 Nm from 1,750 revolutions per minute, with claimed figures all the way to 58.9 miles per gallon and 126 grams/km of CO2 for your 6-speed manual model. Top speed is 132 miles per hour, the way it is for that optional 8-speed automatic variant, although at 9.4 seconds the manual is 6/10 of your second slower inside the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint. Offering more grunt could be the 180 horsepower edition from the same motor referred to as 20D, producing 430 Nm of torque. Manual and automatic versions post identical 140 miles per hour top speeds, but 0 to 62 miles per hour times differ, the previous 2/10 slower at 8.3 seconds. All-wheel drive sold. In 20D AWD format, the most notable speed dips to 132 miles per hour, with 0 to 62 miles per hour times springing up in 8.4 seconds. Like all all-wheel drive XE variants, the 20D is automatic gearbox only. Featuring a 240 horsepower twin-turbo iteration from the engine with standard automatic transmission and all-wheel drive may be the 25D AWD, topping the diesel range. Torques ramped nearly 500 Nm from 1,500 revolutions per minute, equating into a 155 miles per hour top speed and also a 6.5 second 0 to 62 miles per hour time. Despite this, Jaguar still claims 48.7 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 153 grams/km. As those figures suggest, acceleration on the 25D is much more than brisk enough for many drivers. However, the gruff diesel engine means it's nowhere close to refined because 190 horsepower 2.0-litre diesel available inside Audi A4 or that car's 3.0-litre 6-cylinder units with 218 horsepower and 272 horsepower. The 240 horsepower motor doesn't feel as at home from the XE since the larger Xf either, where it is like a better fit to the car. Short gearing with the standard fit automatic gearbox emphasizes the feeling of speed. The flip side could be that the XE usually change gear over is necessary, since it has a lot of cogs available. Thankfully, the gearbox is slick enough that it's unobtrusive enough most with the time. Petrol-powered alternative. The original 4-cylinder petrols were ousted in the start of 2017, having a pair of Ingenium units taking their place. They are both 2.0-litre turbocharged units. First up may be the 20 tons, a 200 horsepower version producing 320 Nm of torque from 1,200 revolutions per minute and sending its power to your rear wheels through an 8-speed automatic gearbox. It'll reach a premier speed of 143 miles per hour, having a 0 to 62 miles per hour duration of 7.6 seconds. Fundamentally exactly the same engine appears in uprated form inside the 25 tons X, producing 250 horsepower and 365 Nm of torque. Top speed is electronically governed to 155 miles per hour, with 0 to 62 miles per hour arriving in a period of 6.5 seconds. As with all the 240 horsepower diesel, there's a good amount of punch from your more powerful 2.0-litre petrol model. Refinement is nearly lacking, however, together with the engine feeling loud and coarse when worked hard. We found the 250 horsepower unit less sporty as opposed to old model, but not refined enough to compensate around the luxury front. The automatic gearbox also feels just a little mismatched here. Select dynamic drive mode, you need to do for weightier steering, along with the car holds on to gears for far too long, hardly fitting for any Jaguar. Jaguar did provide an all-wheel drive option on this engine, nevertheless it ceased production in June 2018. This was no great loss, because extra-driven wheels reduced claimed fuel economy and hindered the sense of acceleration due to your extra 50 kilograms or possibly even longer being lugged around. That excess weight meant that particular X didn't feel quite as brisk perhaps you might have expected for the power on tap. With the supercharged V6S model not offered, production ceased in spring 2018. The performance flagship may be the 30 tons, producing 300 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque from 1,500 revolutions per minute. All-wheel drive and automatic transmission are definitely the only drivetrain permutations. But while the very best speed is electronically capped at 155 miles per hour, much like the 25 tons models, the 0 to 62 miles per hour dash requires just 5.7 seconds to finish. Flagship XS discontinued. Not until this comes close for the aforementioned XS performance figures, or its engine sound, as an example. Boasting 380 horsepower, a 40 horsepower increase in the start of 2017, and 450 Nm of torque from 3,500 revolutions per minute, it absolutely was rear-wheel drive and automatic transmission only, giving a 0 to 62 miles per hour use of 5 seconds flat. Reasonably agile handling. Ride comfort isn't compromised. Do you actually need all-wheel drive? The British company has focused heavily how well the Jaguar X handles because it had been keen to offer a car that truly appeals to driving enthusiasts. It's partly succeeded. At speed it feels assured and agile, and much more than competent at sweeping through bends at speed. Push harder, however, and also the all-wheel drive versions feel somewhat soft, using the front end sliding wide at reasonably low speeds. Around town the steering is quite light and responsive, and means parking maneuvers is usually completed with little effort within the steering wheel. Though the sharp steering does have the car feel agile, it's overly light at higher speeds, meaning the X isn't most fun or engaging model for keener drivers. The soft suspension means that even though the steering is sharp, our bodies rolls a little over you'd expect for the car which has a sporty billing. Comfort seems for being the main priority, at least inside the all-wheel drive versions. Plenty of technology to flatter the driving force. The X comes complete with driver aids, however, including a stability control system that assists prevent accidents from lack of traction, and technology called torque vectoring by braking, TVBB, that utilizes the auto's inside brakes when cornering to help you pull the auto into a tighter turn. It means should you go right into a corner faster than you would possibly wish, the torque vectoring seamlessly takes over to keep the car for the optimum line with the corner. It's virtually impossible to notice since the intervention is subtle and aids safe driving too. The system is outfitted as standard to any or all Xs. For people who find themselves more concerned with ride comfort and city driving, the X delivers here, too. The ride feels supple and capable to isolate passengers from rough, pockmarked roads with considerable ease. Again, the all-wheel drive models are less impressive, while using suspension failing to insulate passengers from bumps inside road along with it could, though it's still pretty comfortable on nearly the roughest roads. Consequently, we'd be cautious about opting for your more expensive all-wheel drive, AWD, system. It truly does work well. Perhaps too well since it reigns within the playfulness on the X's tail when it's being driven hard, but few people inside UK have a home in areas where this type of system is essential. Winter tires can be a much more cost-effective solution for handling cold, slippery roads. Cabin envelops those inside front seats. Clean, simple design with few buttons. Pity it doesn't feel as top quality as rivals. Jaguar has centered on providing the driver having a wrapped around cabin which enables make you feel part with the X. The door trims rise to shoulder height, having a thick sill for the top that wraps round the dashboard, just under the windscreen. In true to form style, the center console is defined higher than many rivals, leading you to feel snug although not cramped. Both the analog and optional digital instrumentation binnacles are really simple to watch, as the central touch screen is not difficult to use, especially on higher spec models using the 10.2-inch In Control Touch Pro package. It's quick to reply with sharp graphics. A simple control layout. Selecting desired ventilation settings and, where fitted, heated seats is straightforward to work within the move, while other controls make use of a simple layout and steer clear of the clutter of myriad buttons and knobs that plague a few other cars. The multi-function tire fitted as standard to each and every X is usually straightforward to use, together with the cruise control functions fitted on the one hand and audio and driving information adjustments around the other. The only downside is, as the look and feel in the cabin is both robust and appears decent, the pad used about the top on the dashboard feels too plasticky despite it looking pleasingly tactile. Audi still leads the course in this regard. Comfortable cabin but about the snug side. Ride comfort remains a Jaguar hallmark. Opt with the portfolio for lashings of leather. Jaguar is famed for creating cushy, supremely comfortable cars, and also the X is dedicated to providing an easy, comfy ride. Up front, the motorist and passenger have sport-style seats that supply reasonable shoulder and thigh support even if cornering, while there is a lot of adjustment to make certain most drivers will find a position to match. Higher specification models, for example the Portfolio trim, feature electrically powered adjustment plus full leather interior. Depending on your size, the sports seats in our sport models aren't essentially the most supportive, together with the flat seats not giving the greatest back support or grip around bends. Less than perfect comfort. As a consequence, we found out that these weren't one of the most comfortable for extended drives, with all the flat seat base leaving a team having numb bum and leg after obviously any good relatively short trip. Therefore, you'll desire to ensure you get a prolonged test drive prior to you buying an X to get certain it's comfortable available for you. Rear seat passengers don't fare at the same time for space, as is also typical of the class. There is however good legroom and a lot of head and shoulder room for a few adults or 3 young children to travel in comfort. The ride is especially impressive mainly because it's not simply supple, however it also is able to prevent minor potholes and pockmarked tarmac from being transmitted through on the cabin. It's a remarkable feat given some with the broken, gnarly roads within Britain. 4-wheel drive limitations. We found all-wheel drive versions less adept at handling bumps, however, since they failed to isolate passengers through the road surface around you'd hope on rougher tarmac. There's also somewhat more road and tire noise than you'd hope, which discounts comfort on longer trips. It's not even close to bad, Even so, the Audi A4 is usually a quieter place to become at motorway speeds. Mostly well-equipped range. Middle, top-level models. The top. Go easy within the options. There are 5 Jaguar trim levels from which to choose to suit different budgets and tastes. Entry level say, then R Sport and S around the sporty side, with Prestige and Portfolio trim being more luxurious. Standard Jaguar X saloon equipment. Jaguar ownership starts using the XE trim, which nets cloth seats, gloss black interior finishes, sat-nav, cruise control, 17-inch alloy wheels, DAB radio, an 8.0-inch in-control touch media system and multi-function controls. In comparison to its safety kit and driver aids, you also secure autonomous emergency braking, electronic stability control, torque vectoring by braking, all-surface progress control and pedestrian protecting active bonnet. In addition, towards the SE trim, Prestige comes, which has a leather interior with contrasting stitching, heated front seats, ambient blue lighting and brushed aluminium door inserts. Opt for your luxurious Portfolio as well as your X will additionally come furnished with gloves, soft perforated leather, double contrast stitching, gloss back and chrome exterior detailing and 18-inch alloy wheels. The R Sport version is focused on conveying an athletic look, in order that it features a subtle rear spoiler, chrome trim for the side vents, sports tire, heated front sports seat and stiffened sports suspension. And just to successfully know this would be the sports version, the T-watch plates and tire feature R Sport branding. Also fitted as standard are bi-xenon headlights with LED signature daytime running lights, and gloss black window surrounds, plus two-tone 18-inch alloy wheels. Sitting near the top with the tree would be the X Landmark Edition. Launched in spring 2018, it builds for the R Sport spec, adding 18-inch split-spoke alloy wheels, unique Landmark T-watch plates, perforated grained leather sport seats as well as a more aggressive bodykit. For buyers who fancy the sportiest X going, the 300 Sport version comes exclusively together with the 300 horsepower 2.0-litre turbocharged power unit. Other additional features include 19-inch split-spoke alloy wheels plus a 300 Sport branded multi-function tire, T-watch plates, brake calipers and front seats, 14-way electrically adjustable. Discontinued XS. The top-of-the-range S version boasted a huge amount of standard kit and was exclusively available while using 3.0-litre supercharged V6 engine. Buyers taken advantage of heated, perforated leather front seats, leather sports controls with S logo, aluminium door finishes and gloss black center console. On the surface there were enlarged air intakes, side sill extensions, rear spoiler, red brake calipers and 19-inch alloys. S model owners also received a Meridian speakers, keyless entry and power-operated boot lid. Optional Jaguar X accessories. There can be a host of interior and exterior changes buyers can specify based on trim, including two-tone leather, different interior hues in addition to optional exterior colors. There can be the option of an head-up display that projects high-contrast color information on top of the windscreen, including current speed, turn-by-turn navigation instructions, traffic signs and cruise control settings. There can be a park assist function that will help steer the X to a parking bay or perform parallel parking maneuvers. All the driving force has to do is control the brakes and accelerator. Also part with the system is usually a reverse traffic detection system that warns drivers when reversing if you find any approaching traffic from each side. Buyers may also enhance the audio system that has a premium Meridian setup plus upgrades for the In-Control Touch Pro package, complete having a 10.2-inch touch screen. Full 5-star crash test score from Euro NCAP. Wide array of safety kit fitted as standard. Further safety kit is recommended. Jaguar had the X's safety credentials underlined if it received an entire 5-star rating in the crash test experts at Euro NCAP. Its inherent strength is derived on the extensive utilization of aluminium and side X's construction, supplemented with the usual fitment coming from all-round airbags and ISOFIX child seat mounting points. The X is usually fitted as standard using a range of driver aids to assist prevent an accident inside first place, including anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, torque vectoring by braking, TVBB, that helps an auto get round most if taken just a little faster than normal, plus an automatic braking mechanism that helps prevent the automobile crashing into objects before if the trucker fails to make a change. Another highlight is all-surface progress control, which is designed to find grip and have the X rolling on even essentially the most slippery of surfaces. Lane keeping assist, which assists gently steer the auto to keep it within the confines from the white lines, and blind spot assist to warn you of approaching traffic from behind remain about the options list. Finally, pedestrians can also be better protected inside the event of the front-end crash by having an X thanks to your deployable bonnet that rises approximately provide an even better cushion to assist absorb impacts. Cabin is around the tight side for passengers. Boot is usefully large, though. For top-rated electric boot lid from 2017. Compact saloons aren't most commonly known for being paragons of flexibility. Nevertheless, the Jaguar X fails to deliver of even those modest expectations, primarily because its interior is snug for passengers. Usefully, the boot is large enough to swallow some large suitcases, as well as a few soft bags, and from your start of 2017 an electric-powered opening function was added, activated using a foot wiggle under the spine bumper. Inside the cabin there really are a couple of cup holders, plus in the armrest a little storage area including USB connections, a 12-volt socket along with an Owen jack point. The glove box can be a reasonable size, however the door bins will find it difficult to hold any container much wider than a drinks can. Rear parking sensors come as part with the package of Xs, while higher-end trims additionally make use of ones with the front as well as a 360-degree camera system.